Now, I'm making this video because I'm sick and tired of Israeli News Live and Dave Hodges at the Common Sense Show and Jason A. too. All three of these guys say they're Christians. But what they're putting out now is all lies. They're talking about asteroids. They're showing clips of asteroids coming in over Russia and over different parts of the world. And you can track these alleged asteroids for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds in the sky. And the phenomenon known as shooting stars, which are supposed to be micro meteorites and asteroids coming in and breaking up and burning up in our atmosphere. That's what they say shooting stars are, but they're not. Shooting stars are electrical discharges in our sky. But these guys, I made a video about asteroids coming in September because Israeli News Live was saying these lies. Okay? Now, today, at the same time, Dave Hodges at the Common Sense Show and Israeli News Live, both of which I was a subscriber, are now promoting the same lies about asteroids and aliens coming in, making contracts with our government. I can't believe it. I'm almost speechless. Okay? Dave Hodges and Israeli News Live are promoting what is called the Great Deception. It's part of the New World Order and the Great Reset. Okay? And none of these include you because according to them, their plans, you're not going to be around for it. That's what all the shit that's going on now is leading up to this. They're forecasting millions to be gone by 2025 if we even get there, because I believe the Lord's return is coming soon. It's almost imminent. But there are no such thing as asteroids, people. Okay, these things they're showing on videos and TV. First of all, they're way too slow. NASA and the liars of scientism say that these asteroids and micrometeorites travel at 17,500 miles an hour. Okay, a mediocre bullet from a handgun travels at about 1,000 miles an hour. Okay, and the phenomenon known as shooting stars, you can't track them. They just whip through the sky and you barely see it. But these things you can start at 9 o'clock and watch it all the way till 3 o'clock. I mean, they're there for like 10 seconds. Okay, these are not coming from outer space. These are incendiaries being released from high altitude cargo planes. They are fooling people. They are setting you up for the next staged event. False flag staged event. That's what these people are doing. Okay, if space was what NASA and scientism says, millions of light years across, if aliens from other worlds could come to the Earth over hundreds, if not thousands of light years, they'd be far, far superior to us. They'd be 1,000 times as advanced and far more intellectual than we could ever be. Okay, and let me tell you something. A trillion seconds is almost 32,000 years. 1 light year is almost 6 trillion miles. You know how far 1 light year is according to these liars at NASA and scientism? Okay, 1 light year is 6 trillion miles. And a trillion seconds is 32,000 years. Google it. The liars at Google, whom people believe without a doubt, they forsake what they see, feel, touch, and experience to have Google dictate their reality. They'll disregard their natural sentences every time for what Google says. Okay? Now, if asteroids were real, first of all, every year the topography of the moon would be different. They say the moon has no atmosphere. Okay? And thousands of asteroids and meteorites, especially meteorites, hit the Earth every day. That's what they say, and they burn up in our atmosphere. And the ones that don't, that last longer, are the phenomenon known as a shooting star. But a shooting star is nothing more than some type of electrical or electromagnetic discharge, just like lightning. Okay? Now, if thousands of these things hit the Earth a day, and we truly had satellites, they would have been wiped out a long time ago. If meteorites and asteroids hit the Earth with such magnitude, satellites wouldn't even be feasible. It'd be a waste of money. Okay, if satellites were real, I could zoom in 30, 40x on the moon, which I do, I have video, and you will not see one satellite of the alleged 10,000 plus satellites in orbit of the Earth. Okay, there'd be no dead spots. Okay, we wouldn't have to have so many towers. Okay, everything is ground based. These people are liars. And Dave Hodges and Israeli News Live, Steve Bannoun and Hodges over there at the Common Sense Show are promoting the great deception that Matthew chapter 24 speaks of. There will be signs and great wonders that will be so great that even the very elect, there exists a possibility for them to be deceived. Okay, and these guys, all Dave Hodges, Jason A., and Steve Bannoun at Israeli News Live all claim to be Christians. And all they're doing is regurgitating the lies of NASA and scientism. These people are setting you up, and they are going to employ hypersonic missiles equipped with tracer lights. And if you see one of these things, especially at night, you're going to think it was a freaking asteroid and it's going to blow up. Okay, these things, what they're showing now are just, extinguishing themselves out in the air. They're being thrown out of high altitude cargo planes. I can't believe people can't see the difference between these things and the phenomenon known as shooting stars. The shooting stars shoot parallel over the Earth. Okay, these things are coming from high altitude and straight down at an angle. They're being thrown out of high altitude planes. And they move way too slow. Okay? These people claim to be Christians, but they are promoting the lies. They are trying to say now, when I was into aliens before I came across the flat earth, I was into what's called solar warden, where they're telling us that citizens from the earth are manning spaceships, that there's a secret space force. They're trying to say Trump was going to bust them. It's all bullshit. Trump made the Space Force to create another avenue to steal revenue from the taxpayer like NASA does, $19 billion a year. And all they give us is CGI and cameras at the fuselage, down by the fuselage of the rocket. If there were all those satellites in space, we could watch a rocket take off from the Earth, shoot through the atmosphere, enter space, dock with the ISS, do all this. We don't see that. Okay, they stick a camera at the back of this rocket. It goes up. It does a parabolic arc. It flies out of view while flying back down, always over a conveniently placed ocean. And then they switch to CGI. It's so stupid. You people are being set up for the Great Deception, the Great Reset, and the Beast system, which is coming in. I heard in Canada they're telling people they can't do shit if they don't get the vaccination. They can't travel, they can't do this, they can't do that. I've read articles where if you don't take the vaccination, then you are akin to a domestic terrorist. Okay, I read all types of stuff. Per Fox News, science is going to move the sun, the earth, and all the fake planets to another region in space. Bodily, they're going to move the Earth, the Sun, and all the planets to another region to avoid killer asteroids. And you really got to have an IQ less than 60 to believe that. And I tell you, most people do. When you instantaneously believe everything the news says, your IQ decreases. You're not thinking no more. You're not having any logic employed in your decision making. You are just instantaneously believing what they say. That's what we've been programmed and hypnotized to do. When I hear David Muir, MSNBC, ABC News start that music, that jingle, I literally see my parents become hypnotized by that music. Okay, and it infuriates me. These people are lying. They're going to start talking about Nibiru, the Anunnaki. They're gonna introduce everything with asteroid fields, okay? And they're doing it now. They're showing Jason A. Almost every video he has is signals from outer space, radio waves. And he puts one little verse about God at the end that has nothing to do with the video. And his entire video is about signals from space and aliens. Okay, the Bible says that Satan goes about as a roaring lion. He can transform into an angel of light to deceive. And he goes about as a roaring lion, seeking those he may consume. And he is going to consume millions with these. If aliens could travel that far, 100 light years, which each light year is 6 trillion miles, if they could come here, if other worlds existed, that would instantaneously prove that they are hundreds of times more superior than we are. Their technology would be so far advanced we couldn't even fathom anything they put forth. We'd be like ants to them, okay? But if they did come, if they were real, they would want to do one of two things, and that's either destroy us or help us. And if they had the logic that superior beings would have to come here, that they would possess, they would know our number one problem is our corrupt government. They would never enter into any agreements with these people. They would not let these people dictate what they could do, who they could help, when and where they could appear. That is also absurd. It's ridiculous. They're saying Steve Bannon and Hodges are saying that they've signed contracts with our government, that they're still trying to understand space and doing research, and they were waiting for us to evolve, that they don't want to create hysteria, and they want us to understand their spaceships. And I say this almost verbatim. This is what these liars are saying. Okay, first, Steve Hodges last year was telling us that I liked him because he told the truth about FEMA and the liars of scientism. You know, he had Steve Quayle on talking about, things I liked about the fallen angels. Aliens are not from other worlds. They're from the earth. They've been here the whole time. They are demonic entities impersonating aliens. Okay? There are no such thing as aliens from other worlds. Read Genesis chapter 1. God made the stars for lights, times, years, and seasons, and signs. Nowhere does it say he made stars to be suns for other planets within other galaxies. Okay, he made a firmament barrier to separate one large body of water called the deep. And the waters above the firmament and the waters below the firmament. Okay, those below are the seas, and those above is what space is. It's a liquid. I don't know what type of liquid, but space is a liquid, and there's a firmament, and that's why all these rocket blast launches got to trace the firmament. That's why they do that arc, because they're going right under the firmament. And it might sound ridiculous, but you got to research it. Okay, I wasn't into the flat earth. I thought it was stupid. I was into solar warden and aliens and how it would affect my faith. And over time, could we beat them if they were superior? That's what was in my heart. But I still believed in God. I like to think, okay, yeah, it wouldn't be good if these jerks came from another world far superior than us. They could, evolution would have an extra leg to stand on. It's only got one now, because people love to use it, so you got to give it one leg. But aliens from another world would give it another, maybe a third, so it could stand. All right? But it never will happen because there are no other worlds. The Earth, our three-dimensional reality, is the only place where physical matter can exist. The fourth dimension is the spirit world. If there is a fifth or sixth dimension, it has to do with God in heaven, not with anything of a physical matter. It's spiritual. Okay, they try to come with some truth talking about interdimensional beings. Okay, an alien a demonic entity could be described as interdimensional, but not the way CERN does. Okay, it's a spiritual existence. Okay, it has nothing to do with technology or the lies of quantum physics. That's all made up, man made magic. Artificial intelligence is just propaganda. It does not exist. Okay, just because you got Siri and Cortana, okay, that's not artificial intelligence. That's programs. Okay, data and information is fed in to a computer program and it responds as programmed. It's not doing it on its own. They want you to think when the false prophet and the beast come and they start doing all these miracles, they don't want people, saying, wait a minute, I heard about some type of guy like this in church. They don't want you to correlate that. They want you to think, no, this magic is not magic. It's the technology of man. Artificial intelligence is technology of men. It's not. It's the power of the devil. It will appear magical. Okay, it has nothing to do with man-made technology. But that's what they want you to think. When they get the statue to come to life of the beast, okay, they want you to believe artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and quantum physics. All lies, theoretical bullshit that can never be demonstrated. But what's coming now with these asteroids and these, in my opinion, the Anunnaki from Nibiru, which the alleged Christian people, Steve Bannon from Israeli News Live, and Dave Hodges from Common Sense Show, are heavily promoting, and they need to promote this for it to work. I would argue that because people instantaneously believe anything the news says. If the news said tomorrow that the Earth is going to suffer a pole shift, and the Earth was upside down, everyone would believe it. And even better, if they waited just for some real good storm, like Katrina or some tropical storm to come in, they could say the Earth is going to suffer a pole shift on Tuesday, knowing the tropical storm is coming in our area on Tuesday. And people would look out the window, see some lightning, some high winds, and the news jerk on there from his teleprompter reading, the Earth has suffered a pole shift and is now upside down in space. People would believe it. They would believe it, argue it, and defend it. That's how stupid they are. Okay? The topography of the moon would change, I would say, by the damn day. We could identify new craters if it doesn't have an atmosphere, and meteorites and asteroids are zooming around and thousands hit our atmosphere. We don't see any of this. There's none of their fake satellites coming down. It wouldn't be feasible if thousands of these bullets are flying around up there. Okay, the ISS would be destroyed. These people are liars. They admit they cannot leave low Earth orbit. But 50 years ago, they did it 12 times. Going to the moon 6 times, to and fro, back and forth through the Van Allen belts. I mean, they tell the truth to people who are listening. I mean, you see them on screen during live feeds with harnesses, wires, Aquanet hairspray. Her hair, the female astronaut's hair, is stiff as a broom, but her little necklace is floating all over the place. How is that? Her hair should be doing the damn same thing. If a necklace with a emblem on it is floating all over the place, why is her hair rock solid? Because the bitch has it sprayed. Okay? I hate to use profanity, but people are so stupid. And they are going to come and say a rogue planet, Planet X, is entering into our solar system. It does so every 15,000 years. And they're going to say that a planet orbits, some planet orbits this Nibiru, or whatever's coming, whatever Planet X they want to call it. And it has a 20,000 year orbit around our sun. And it's going to come through our neighborhood, and it's going to cause solar flares from a CGI sun that they show you. It's a CGI sun. The sun does not look like that. If you use solar filters under zoom, it is not a ball on fire. It is so stupid, I can't believe. People just are so distracted with material things. We're doing exactly what they taught us. Even though I've woken up, I still buy stuff. I like antiques and this and that, but I'm not going to do idolatry, which was what everyone else is doing. They serve themselves, and they don't care about anything else. We are taught to believe that the ground we stand on and our very bodies and lives are insignificant in a universe with millions of planets, trillions of stars, that the Earth is spinning faster than a bullet at the equator, going 66,000 miles around the sun, while the sun simultaneously travels at almost 500,000 miles through our Milky Way galaxy, and while the galaxy is traveling 1,000,000 or so miles through the universe, yet every night we can look up and see the stars where they're supposed to be. Okay, they do time-lapse star trail footage at the North Pole, and they're perfect circles above the Earth. And they say that's the result of 1,000+ rotation of the Earth. But what about the 66,000 mile per hour happening every second? That you wouldn't get circular star trails above the North Pole, time-lapse star footage, if the Earth was also going sideways or linear at 66 times greater than its rotation. Then those stars, the time-lapse wouldn't just pick up the Earth's slowest motion. It would record the faster motion. It's also stupid. But when they do start showing more asteroids coming through the sky, they're not. They're moving too slow. They're high altitude incendiaries being thrown out of cargo planes. And then the ones that are going to start doing damage are going to be something like hypersonic missiles equipped with tracer lights that are going to blow up on impact, and they're going to blame asteroids. Then demonic entities are going to show up claiming to be aliens from the Pleiades or this or there or God knows where. But it's all a lie. Keep your trust in Yeshua, Jesus Christ, HaMashiach. If someone's telling you about this and they're not telling you that aliens are demonic entities and they're trying to say they are real from other worlds, they're lying to you. And if they say they're Christians, they're lying. Dave Hodges, he's a liar. There is no solar warden. There are no citizens in spaceships behind the moon or in our solar system that they teach us we live in. Our solar system is above our heads. Okay, the sun, the moon, and all the wandering stars are circuiting in their circular type of orbit above the Earth. Okay, the Earth itself is not in the sky you're looking up at. Okay, the sky is above the Earth. The Earth does not move, but everything above the Earth moves like a clock. These people are liars, and I hope you people, some of you have the discernment to realize that, because I tell you, in my lifetime, I firmly believe that some type of entities are going to show up claiming to be aliens or life forms from another world, and they're going to deceive many. And they might even say, we need you to help us because our enemy's right behind us. Okay? And you know who that enemy right behind them is going to be? They're going to come to the Earth and they're going to say, we need your help. Our enemy is not far behind us, but they'll be coming from above. And armies will line up against that enemy. And they will be fools, because it won't be spaceships coming at them. It'll be people on white horses, and the one in the middle will have a crown. And with like a flash of light, they'll be eliminated. So I hope you people learn the truth and have discernment, because Dave Hodges at the Common Sense Show and Steve Banoon and Jason, they are liars promoting the great deception.